Welcome to Parenting with Vanessa Cologne. Today's topic is, I don't even know what to say, but me processing the night, I guess you can say. So, what happened was tonight is that, or today, I was invited to a birthday party, which I was really excited about. And I love birthday celebrations sometimes. Like, let's be honest, I'm not the most one. I'm not, my birthday is not the first thing I'm going to celebrate in general. But, there's something that came up today was, this morning when, my friend called me, she wanted me to pick up a couple of things, which is a non-issue. And I picked them up and, she had a big group of people. And when you have a big group of people, normally like more, I don't know, like more people have more things to say about the person that's you're celebrating their birthday or why you know them. I don't know, like anything, right? So I'm with my friend or I'm with them and we have a good time and then everyone's going to her house, right? Which is, you know, a good amount of people or whatnot. And she called me the day before regarding like she's like you have information on like how to do a fundraiser or like anything like that. So like can I help you? And I said, of course, like you can pick my brain and whatever you want. So this morning I went to like 3 different stores. She wanted to get X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay, I'll totally do it. No big deal. But nothing was open and whatever, it is what it is. San Francisco, everybody's breaking into Walgreens or CVS. So you can't really get much anyway, just because of, where we're at right now in this, political climate, I would say. And so I show up at the house and she's like, well, she's worried about this like live auction. And I go, listen, I got it. Like, I'll do the MC, I'll do whatever you need. Not a big deal. And then after we were talking, and I think it was a really big deal for her to have it. And I'm like, okay, you can totally have it. Not a big deal. Like, do it your way. So we're there, and I'm hanging out with her friends, and like, they're, really open minded. Like, I've met them before. So I feel like I already know them. It's a big group of people. Everyone's like down to earth. And I think everyone's just really happy to not wear a mask. Like, to be honest with you, like, that's where everyone's at right now. And as she's talking to this group of people, well, kind of talking to people, I actually take it back. Let's rewind this. So, from what I remember, she was about to start talking. Somebody else started talking, and there's a new band, and she has a new friend, like some new friends are like coming together, and they're like figuring out themselves, and they figure out with COVID, they're like, oh, well, it's just gonna like, I don't know, transform into this like working, I don't even know, some band, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not a music buff. Like, I'm not someone to say anything about music because that's just not my thing. Well, she said, Vanessa, I don't need you on that piece. I'm like, that's great. That's totally fine. Like, I get it. And like, but I wrote everything out because I'm like one of those people. I'm like, well, we need to make money, right? So like, we're here to make money, and like, her thing was to build awareness on mental health awareness along with anti-Asian hate. That was like the goal. Like, and I said, totally get it. We could figure it out. What are the organizations? And she's totally me. She goes up there and she's like, well, I'm going to figure out the organizations, then we're going to do it. And I'm like, that is totally great. And what I'm like, that's not going to get you money. Like, that's just not how you run things. I've already learned that because like, that's how I would normally, well, actually that's how I do most of my life. So I can't really say that. But what ended up happening was that at the end of like everyone talking or this whole thing, no one said anything about this person. I'm like, here, it's her birthday. We're celebrating her. And like, this is what kills me, right? Because it's like, why is it not being celebrated? And like, I've heard that like she's a little shy. Like, listen, I know this girl, like her web design and her work is on point. Like, she's phenomenal. Well, now I'm learning, well, she's a little shy when it comes to like, I don't know, social interactions, which I totally get. But it's her birthday. She just pulled together 40 to 50 people to come together to celebrate this for a cause. And for me, like, that needs to be understood, and that needs to be expressed. Like, wow, that's amazing. You just did all these things. Like, hello, there's a couple conversations I've had with her. I have a girlfriend that like she really respects, and she's like, you know what, I would really like to meet her. And I'm like, okay, I'll figure out a time, like whatever, we'll figure it out. But like, that's not where we're at right now, and we're in 2 different cities, and it's just not gonna work. But I totally hear you on that and everything else. And I had my friend send her a birthday message because I'm like, it really means something to her. Didn't think anything of it. Like, literally didn't think anything of it. And she was like, it was honestly one of the sweetest messages. And I sent this text message at like 7 a.m. And I said, hey, I really need a favor from you. Can you send a message saying X, Y, and Z to this person's birthday? And she did. But you know what? That's what she would do. Like, that's, I think I have a really good point. Like, I feel like I'm right now surrounded by really good people that I trust, and I want to be around them on like their just being a good person, right? And so then we're all there and everyone's talking. And this is where I'm getting emotional, and this is, it is what it is. I'm learning to just deal with my emotions because I don't know. I get a little bit over, I feel a lot sometimes. And I'm listening to everyone talking, and like, no one acknowledged her. No one acknowledged her specifically. And it's her birthday. And like, I get it. You're not supposed to be like, say like, oh, this is it. It's her birthday. I get that like there's ways to acknowledge people differently, but like nothing was ever talked about with her. And at this point, I already told her I wasn't going to speak. I wasn't going to do anything. Like, totally get it. Like, do what you need to do. But like, she shut down. Well, I don't even know if she shut down. She decided not to do anything, period. Which I get. Like, who wants to talk in public? Like, I get it. I'm the first one to be like, I'm out, peace out, like, I'm done. And that's where it was. And so tonight, what happened was I spoke up. I said, I have something to say. And she looked at, like, of course, like, everyone like else looks at me like I'm crazy when I do something that's totally not, up to like norm. And I said, I have something to say. And I said, this is a person that, because I'm like, we're talking about mental health awareness this month. And we're also talking about anti-Asian hate and how much, and this is what I want to mention is that like, this woman who has literally, transformed and supported my career in ways that I can't explain needs to be acknowledged. And I said, like, she has done things that no one's ever done for me before. There's times where in my career, like, with my school, like, I couldn't even afford the website. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not hiding anything. Listen, I'll keep everything. You want to know where I'm at all times? That's not an issue for me. Like, I will tell you. There's been a couple of hard years, and she happened to meet me in a really hard year. And she showed up at the school. She saw my kids. She saw what I was going through. And I love my kids, don't get me wrong. But not everybody's going to want to be that person that's going to want to help these kids. It's just not what it is. Like, I get it. Not everyone has a kind heart. And she does. So she really helped. And the part of it that blew me away is that Lola, stop. It's my dog. When we went into the credit card section of like the payments, it was her credit card. So she was paying for my website. And, and you're probably like, how did you not know? Well, anyone that knows me, that details are not my thing. Like, it's just not my thing. And I think to her, like, she just really wanted to help. It was for her to, like, give something back. And I didn't even realize that. So, like, here I have this person. When I realized, like, months later of, like, how much she's helped me, like, wow, this is amazing. And she has a birthday. Of course I'm going to celebrate her. Of course I'm going to be like, she's, like, one of the most amazing people ever. Right? Well, I get there and it's like, well, they're talking about other things and I get it. But what surprised me tonight was this. There's times when she's really busy and she can't see me, or I check in, or I send a message to the kids and I still don't hear anything. And like, to me, like, well, she's not getting paid, right? So she's not getting paid for the work. She's not getting paid for anything. So it's not a big deal if she doesn't respond. But what I didn't know is this, that she was struggling. And that's what killed me tonight. That's what hurts. Is you just don't know. Okay, I'm gonna finish this podcast. I'm gonna do this. You're just gonna have to be patient. After I spoke, and I explained, my story and everything else. And it was like, what I do and my kids and everything else. There was this level of like, I don't know. It just need to be heard. To me, it need to be heard. Like, whether or not you agree or not, I don't really care. But when someone helps a stranger they don't know, helps like commit to a school, helps to build something because they believe in the cause, they believe in the mission, and they see the kids struggling. You know, I didn't think she saw herself in the kids. That was not what I thought, ever. What I thought was that she's just a good person trying to help. I did not think that she was struggling too. So after I talked and I said what I said, by the way, her friends think I'm probably nuts right now because I did not stop crying the rest of the night. What happened after? When somebody spoke after for her mental health, and the reason why she was raising awareness, because she was suicidal a couple years ago and depressed. And I mean, I'm just putting a couple years, I don't even know what, but like, how I didn't know. That's, like, I think I'm pretty in tune with people. And when it came out, and when she said it, I lost it. Like, I couldn't stop crying. And I'm still crying, obviously, because you can tell by my voice. You know, she always said, like, I want to help you. And I want to help your kids. And just how much that meant to me. But I didn't understand why. And as we're looking at May and mental health awareness, you might not think that someone's struggling. And you might not know anything. But check on the people you love, because tonight was a wake-up call for me. I think I'm pretty in tune, but tonight was like, excuse my language, holy shit, what the fuck? How did I miss that? I don't know. And I love this woman more than anything, and she is such an amazing human being. Like, I can't even imagine what goes on in her head. And like, tonight was that call of like, it really can happen. Like, I know it can happen to anyone. Like, you know that. Like, in your head, you know it. But tonight, it was real for me. You know, like, how much, like, why did she help my school so much? She knows what it's like. Some of my kids, you know, sometimes, you know, there's the things that come in their mouth. Like, I don't know, like, you know, there's this feeling, I don't know, like, I have no idea, anything. Like, obviously tonight I have no idea anything, but I just feel like she really needed something more, and that my school was something. But it wasn't until tonight that I understood why she helped me so much. I gave her a heart, and like, she's doing really well. Like, we talked today, which made me feel a lot better. We talked afterwards, and like, I'm like, I have no idea. Like, her friends probably think I'm crazy because I was like crying nonstop. Once I heard this, I just like, can you imagine being at a party and not stop crying and you're like, what's going on? I'm like, I just felt for her. And I also felt that like, wow, like, I now understand where she was coming from. Like, maybe my school was something that really like helped her and supported her and to make her feel better. But I was upset that I couldn't do it. Like, it wasn't me that did it. Right? It wasn't me that was like doing it. And like, how did I miss it? So as we're looking at May and mental health awareness, like, check in with your family, check in with your friends, because you just don't know. It just can happen. I'm like, I don't even know what to say. I don't know. I just know that tonight was really emotional for me in the sense of like, you know, she is a really good friend to me. She's a really good person. The amount of love and dedication and loyalty, like, she's just a really good, and to even think that she even had a thought, like, I can't even like comprehend that on how she thought that way. But that's how most people probably think, right? Like, so always check in with your person, check in with people, because you just never know. And tonight was a learning experience, and I am so grateful I learned it, because I'm going to tell you tomorrow, and more people I'm checking in with, and I apologize for, the tears. Actually, I'm not going to apologize because you know what? It is what it is. Like, I care about people and, I am at peace. And sometimes I'm not the best at expressing myself because I'm a little bit too blunt at times. I don't even know. I am who I am. But I know that, her friends definitely learned who I was because I just couldn't stop crying when I heard that what she went through. But at the same time, I knew I should help my kids. And I never want to find out why someone helped my kids after the fact. And that's what hit me. I never want that. So I want to be able to make sure that I check in more and I'm more present because that's what I want to be to the people that need the help, not just my kids. And my kids have explosive behaviors and they say things at times, but you have to take that seriously because you just don't know. You never know what's going to happen. And I really want to make sure that every day I live it to the best that I can. And tonight was definitely a learning experience for me. Maybe not for others, but for me when I heard how people talked about my friend. And then also how they did talk about her. And then what it meant when I learned the things that she was going through that she never told me. And we're actually close. So somebody could be going through that as you're looking at May as a mental health awareness month and everything else. Like, things can happen, and to reach out, give a hug, send some love. And I hope this helps.